cap.
Yeah.
It's future Chris right now. He's the GM of the Giants, going to take his hometown team to the Super Bowl. Let's figure out which of these positions is most important to you.
Yeah.
And I know we have some graphics here, too, that show you how the Chiefs, Eagles, and 49ers have divvied up their money so far. Do you want to take a look at those first, or do you want to just go with where you think you would prioritize
I think
first?
They're good baselines.
Right, I think so, too.
Yeah, let's show them. I think they're worth talking about, at least showing
here.
people. Yeah.
This was last year. Most of their money went to their quarterback. 19% went to their quarterback last year.
Yeah.
We got music now. Do we play music on our graphics now? Is that a new thing?
For this podcast, I think it is.
So I was listening in the car to the podcast a couple days ago, and all of a sudden just music started playing. I was like, oh, they're jazzing Chris up here. He got boring or something. But then I was like, oh, wait, they're probably showing a graphic right now. So if you're listening, there's a graphic, which is why you're hearing the music. We just didn't get boring. Quarterback at 19%. Defensive tackle, the big butts. The big butts, 14%. We got Chris Jones there, too. That makes a difference.
Right.
Then you got the interior on the offensive line. Right. Guards and centers at 12%. And then you got wide receivers after that. So that's an interesting top four.
It is. It's a very interesting top four. Hey, listen, salary cap spending, how you allot that, there's a few things that go into this, right? It's not just like a hard line formula where it's like, I give 20% here and 20%.
So you have.
What things are dictated. One, hey, if I'm a GM and I know my offensive coordinator's the man and he knows how to get people open like Josh McDaniel did for the Patriots forever, why would I pay receivers $24 million a year when he gets everybody on our team open all the time, right? So that plays into it. Defensive scheme, the quarterback, of course. If I have Patrick Mahomes, then yes, wide receiver and other positions like that, and they can maybe fall by the wayside a little bit.
2.6% for running back, the lowest paid position group on your Super Bowl champion.
Well, there you go.
Chiefs.
Well, then when you have Patrick Mahomes, you're not going to run the ball much, so that's another thing. So yeah, so those are all, I think, a little bit about what dictates, how you spread this around. But I think in general, you're going to look at most teams that go to the Super Bowl or the teams that we see in the competitive Super Bowl window every year. And I know there's a few outliers. But I think in general, you're going to see something similar to what we see from, the Chiefs, the Eagles, the 49ers, and what you hear me say all the time. What do you think? You're my friend. What do you think I'd want to spend my money on other than quarterback?
I was just going to say quarterback. That was an easy one to win. Oh, I'm going to say the big dudes.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, look at the top teams in football, the three best teams in football, the Chiefs, the Eagles, and the 49ers. You just take quarterback away out of the conversation for the Chiefs, and what is it? It's D linemen and O linemen on all three teams. It's the Eagles leading the way with defense ends and tackles, the 49ers leading the way with defensive tackles and defense ends, and then a tight end, right? So there you go. It's big people. Every now and then we have a team that's fast and not about big people. The Rams, they won the Super Bowl a few years ago. That was not a big. They did it with some skill guys in a different way.
And then Aaron Donald that made up for it.
Well, and they had some special guys that can make up for a few things here and there. Exactly right. That's rare. I think more times than not, you see teams built like the Niners, the Eagles, the Patriots for 20 years in a row, right? Just Bricker Seymour, Vince Wilfork, Matt Light, all the damn linemen they had throughout the years. I mean, that's where they're special. So that's where I would start. And yeah, I mean, if you're going to make me start right there, I mean, the tackle and D end is where I'm starting.
Which you see in the draft now, too, right? And that's another indication, right? D ends go off the board pretty quickly. Defensive tackles, dominant ones, go off the board pretty quickly.
I would, in my perfect world, I would invest more in tackles in the interior part of the O-line. Okay, that's where the Chiefs are interesting. See, the Chiefs...
Yeah, their tackles are on the second page.
No, I know.
6%.
Now, they'll be different this year with them paying Jawan Taylor, who they got a ton of money. And, they had Orlando Brown on a franchise tag number last year, so that probably helped things out there a little bit as well. But, they actually took more of the, let's protect the middle and give him room, because when the guy's coming around the edge, he can make them miss and step up and do all this kind of crazy crap, right? But I'm a little bit more like, I would err on the tackles. I think you can protect interior O linemen more, right? Like you can protect. There's, you can protect your weak guard by sending the center over there and doing things in protection to help them out. So I'm more of like, let's pay the tackles, and then, yes, I'm going to D-end. In my perfect world, I would want one premier DN, one premier D tackle. I wouldn't go two premier DNs and then two tackles, right? I would want one premier and one premier. Then you can mix and match, put them on the same side sometimes. Oh, wait, they have a mismatch with this guy, right? Our right D tackle is killing their right guard, right? Mm-hmm. Ooh, they have to do all these things. Hey, let's put the DN somewhere away from that because now they're sliding to our tackle. And so that's what I would look at right there. That would be the first two things. I mean, O-line and D-line, obviously, but tackle, DN, D-tackle, then interior O-line is where I'd go from there.
I think it's interesting, too, and if we have the Eagles one, we can throw that one up here because I'm looking at trends with all three of these teams, and like you mentioned, yes, the big dudes up front, offensive and defensive line, but for the Chiefs, Eagles, and 49ers, wide receiver is in the top 6 for all three of those. So it's like we talk about the skill position of running back being devalued, the skill position of wide receiver, and you see how many of those are taken early in drafts each and every year. It seems like wide receiver, like teams will spend on wide receiver.
You gotta have good receivers and guys that can make plays and go above and beyond, like we talk about. There's this thing right now. I know everybody, you don't need to have a star number one receiver to go to the Super Bowl. You gotta have somebody that's really good or somebody that makes up for it. Okay, maybe you got Patrick Mahomes, you can get away with it. Okay, great. All right. But even within that, I mean, they're spending money on the position. Yeah. They had versatility and depth in it as well. But the game is set up for these guys right now, let alone, like you just said, we can give them the ball, reverses, running back plays, screens, all that type of stuff, right? So, I know people everyone wants to go, well, Randy Moss, you never won the Super Bowl. Okay, but look at most teams that have gone to the Super Bowl, won the Super Bowl. I mean, Jamar Chase, I don't know. Last time I checked, he's pretty good. The Bengals got there. They lost. I think Cooper Kupp was kind of good that year the Rams won the Super Bowl.
Kind of.
A.J. Brown was kind of good last year. I know the Chiefs didn't have Tyreek Hill, but last time I checked, Travis Kelce was a pretty big pass catcher for your football team. Tyreek Hill won the Super Bowl when he was with the Chiefs. Oh, Mike Evans was with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, wasn't he? Oh, and Antonio Brown and Gronk. So that's such a tired argument. I'm so sick of hearing people go, the receiver thing, just because of the Patriots. The Patriots had a special thing. Mm-hmm. They had a coordinator and a quarterback and everything forever that they could find ways and game plan and get people open even when you're like, who the fuck is this guy? He's open. Oh, my God. And Brady sees it, and he's smart, and he throws it to him. So that's...
if you have an all-time great NFL quarterback...
Right, with an all-time great offensive mind...
Yeah, maybe you don't need the elite wide receivers.
And that's where the Chiefs went down to 8.9%, where they probably would have been way up higher percent if they kept Tyreek Hill.
But even so, too, with Brady, I mean, we saw when he had Randy Moss that one year, it was
insane.
It was just, you giving them that, and they are that much better.
Right. I mean, it wasn't because of Randy Moss that they didn't win the Super Bowl. I mean, last time I checked, he went down and caught the game-winning touchdown, and Eli and company brought him back with the great clutch drive. But, I think that's a little bit of a tired subject for me. But I think O-line, D-line, okay.
Can I give you a position that's kind of standing out to me?
Go ahead.
Being lesser than maybe I'm not surprised here, because you look at the Eagles, you look at the 49ers, and it's just for the 49ers, the only position group making less are the kickers, punters, and long snappers. That's safety for the 49ers. And maybe, again, it's team unique, but it's the same way for the Eagles, too. It's safety, linebacker, and then kicker, punter, long snapper. So what about that part of the defensive secondary, safety?
I would, in a lot, I would, those are where I would try to find bargains. I would be more front seven based.
Yes.
I'd want to pay maybe one corner in my world, and then have a lot of good throughout the rest of the secondary. Not I don't need to have an all-star secondary. I'd want to be more a little bit like the 49ers and the Eagles in the department where I just want my front seven to be so good and so dominant that we get pressure all the time. And, hey, the secondary is good but not great, but it looks better now because our front seven's always on the quarterback's ass, right? A little bit like the 49ers when they went to the Super Bowl and lost to the Chiefs. I mean, that was the year of Richard Sherman. He's one of the 5 highest-ranked corners in football. Yeah, he did good that year, but it also, you had 1.1 seconds to throw the ball before Bosa hit you and everybody else. So I want one corner. But here's if I went O-line, D-line, right? We know quarterback, O-line, D-line, specifically tackle, DN, then D-tackle, then interior O-lineman.
Okay.
I think my next one up would be middle linebacker.
Ooh. You're old school.
I'm old school, and to me, it's part of the new school. I mean, the Chiefs can't win and stop the RPOs and the runs and all the shit they can't do unless they had two phenomenal middle linebackers that could cover the field and cover a lot of holes in Willie Gay and Nick Bolton, right? There's a reason the 49ers, Fred Warner in the middle all the time. No doubt about it. You know, even Edwards for the Eagles last year, who went to be the free agent signing by the Bears. That, to me, right now is an extremely important position because of offenses like we talked about. Oh, wait, Christian McCaffrey's at tailback. Oh, wait, he's at receiver. Oh, wait, you got to match up with George Kittle. Oh, no, he does. Oh, gosh. Okay, no, now I got to take on a pulling guard and take him on. The skill set is very vast for that position right now. And that, to me, would be another one where I would be wanting to pay the linebacker department.
And you would not pay running backs. You're part of the problem. You're part of the problem.
I am. Yeah. Right now, I am.
Yeah.
Now,
future Chris is part of the problem.
It is. Yeah. Right now, I would not. I would be, I'm going to draft a running back maybe every other year in the mid to late rounds. And I'm going to continue to have Isaiah Pacheco and somebody else, all these guys that are, hurting the own cause of the overall running back, but show you that you can find guys in the middle rounds who continue to cycle through, and you can have a successful offense. I hate to say that on a personal level, but yeah, that's how I would do it too. I know.
It's those game-breaking players that are valuable, right? Those wide receivers that, like you always say, can take a 5-yard slant, Jamar Chase style, and take it 80 yards to the house.
Yeah.
And it's just rare to find that in a running back, right? So if you can't find like the game breaker, you just got to find someone healthy and good enough for the job.
Exactly. I think that's what we're talking about. There's some extenuating circumstances or some outliers and all that. Yeah, certainly. And that's why, I think that's why the Giants were willing to offer Saquon, 13 a year before the year or early on in the offseason because they recognize, wait, he is a game breaker. He's still got something to him here.
Derrick Henry's got paid.
But we're not going to commit to him 5 years down the road still and throw out so much money that it doesn't even make sense because, like we said, the longevity, the production, we might not find Saquon Barkley, but we can find other ways to, make up for a good chunk of it. And that's what's hurting that group there. Yo, thanks for watching, homies. I appreciate it. As always, the NFL season is right around the corner, so now it's your turn to hit subscribe to Chris Simms Unbuttoned. If you want to get all the training camp battles, preseason film review, playoff predictions, and much, much more, you know where to find it. It's right here, Chris Simms Unbuttoned. Please subscribe. Thanks again for watching. Peace out, homies. See you soon.